What is going on, everyone? It's Nero again, and here for you some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 playing some hardpoint, some of the map raid using only the TAC-45 pistol, and I've noticed a couple other YouTubers doing this thing with their intro, so I think I'm going to try it as well. Alright, I don't know if I'll keep doing that, but yeah, today we're going to be playing some hardpoint here on the map raid using the TAC-45, and the TAC-45 is seriously, to me, the Desert Eagle of this game. Those of you who played Call of Duty 4 remember how good the Desert Eagle was as a secondary, and how it was like the secondary. You know, everyone used it all the time, and the moment you had it unlocked, that was your secondary. A lot of people love the Desert Eagle, and I feel as though this is like a newer version of it, just because the recoil is like exactly the same, except it's got a 10-round mag. And it's just a very, very good pistol. But we're not going to be talking about that today. I hope you guys will enjoy the gameplay, though. It's really good. Actually watch it. I think you'll really enjoy this pistol whipping that goes on in this game. But today we're going to be talking about not so much gameplay, but more or less a little bullshit. So let me read this to you guys. Reverend Franklin Graham, who is the son of Billy Graham, I'm sure a lot of you may have heard of Billy Graham, proposed that violent video games and movies be hit with an extra, quote-unquote, sin tax, so the money could go to the victims of gun crime. Is that processing for anybody right now? So basically what this guy's saying is that we are going to get taxed extra money to purchase violent video games, or, well, basically video games or movies that involve violence. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my goodness, here we go again. Because I've already done so many videos on topics like this. I did one, it was do video games make kids violent? I've done one, it was guns aren't a problem, crazy is the problem. I also did one about the 13-year-old boy who tried to rape and then murdered his mother because she grounded him from Call of Duty. And the conclusion's always been the same. People are freaking crazy. And it's not like there's a ton of them. But people are crazy, and there are instances in this world where video games or possibly movies come into question because of some kind of violent act that was bestowed upon somebody, right? And I understand that. But why are they attempting to punish us? Punish you and I. Good old good guy Nero and Nero's subscribers, right? Whether, I mean, if you're from anywhere outside of the United States, I don't think this bothers you, but some of you guys like to keep up with like stuff that's going on in America or American politics or whatever. And I'm just sitting here like, this is just like the silliest thing I've ever heard. Because how it works in America, I'm not entirely positive about every state. I've only lived in Pennsylvania, but this is how it goes. So here in Pennsylvania, food is not taxed. I don't think clothing is either, although I don't buy clothes very often, so I could be wrong about that. But basically what happens is certain items such as video games, have what we call a sales tax. And here in Pennsylvania, we pay 6% sales tax. Now let's take this for an example. Let's say I want to buy a new Black Ops 2 disc. The game itself is $59.99, $59.99, and I have to pay that money, $59.99, plus 6% of that $59.99, which evens out to roughly about $4 extra. So right now I'm paying like $64 for a new video game. If this sinner's tax comes into play, I'm going to be paying more than that. They didn't give out numbers like what the tax rate would be. If it's another 6%, then maybe you pay an extra $4. Now the game all of a sudden costs $68 to buy. Maybe it's more than 6%. Maybe they go up by 10%, which adds on another $6, which makes this a $70 every time I want to buy a video game. And it just, they're nickel and diming us so they can put this money towards the victims of gun crime, which I believe it is a good idea that, you know, victims of gun crime should have something going towards them, but that money shouldn't be coming from good Americans who did nothing wrong, right? I have played an unholy amount of Call of Duty, I'm going to say, well, let me do some quick math in my head. We got 30 days in COD 4, 30 days in World at War, 45 in Modern Warfare 2, 30 days in Black Ops 1, 20 days in Modern Warfare 3. So that's 30, 30, 45, so that's 105, plus the 30 days in Black Ops 1, that's 135, plus 20 days in Modern Warfare 3, that's 155 days of playtime in Call of Duty over the past 5 years. 155 days, not counting Black Ops 2. That's an unholy amount of Call of Duty. I've played way more than the average player. I've also seen tons of horror movies. My favorite movies are horror movies. I love the Friday the 13th series. I've seen every movie, and there's like 10 of them. I've seen every one of them probably 10 times. I've seen every Halloween movie, the old ones as well as the Rob Zombie remakes. I've seen those as well, and they're all really good. I like them. I've just seen tons of horror movies. I have. And I've played an unholy amount of Call of Duty. And do I see myself stabbing or shooting people, or even with the desire to shoot or stab somebody? No, I don't, because I am a normal, healthy, functioning human being. And the people that do commit these crimes and try and blame something like video games and stuff, they're not healthy, normal human beings. And the worst of it is sometimes it comes from other things, like someone makes a crime, right? Like, oh, that guy, was it the Batman shooter guy that played a lot of Call of Duty? Or it was someone, it was a recent shooting, or maybe it was a Sandy Hook shooting. One of the recent shootings, they started playing that, oh, the guy plays a lot of Call of Duty. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. And the beauty of it is the guy doesn't even talk about that. It's the guy that actually did the crime. He doesn't ever even mention the fact that he plays video games. They have to do all this research. Like, they just go into his room. They're like, now, what could have caused this guy to want to kill everybody? Then they see a Black Ops 2 disc on the floor, and they're like, aha! Call of Duty! That's why he did it. And it's like, God damn, it's not why he did, because he's fucking crazy. Gosh, and it's just every day. It just keeps on going. They keep trying to add more and more to this. It's always the video game's fault. It's never the result of bad parenting. It's never the result of people just being plain crazy. It's not the result of the environment in which he grew up in. It's a result of a video game or a movie that he watched. I talked about this in the what was that video? It was Do Video Games Make Kids Violent? And I talked to my mom about this. My mom's 43 years old. And she's like, oh, it's just more of the same, because when I was younger, they were blaming Looney Tunes, because Looney Tunes, they had people dropping anvils on each other, and they were saying that's corrupting America's youth, because it's showing that, like, it's basically making it so death doesn't really happen, and death doesn't exist, and it's corrupting America's youth, and so it's making out for heartless, robotic people, and back in the day, rock and roll was the devil's music. It's always something, and just right now, at this current time in our generation, they're blaming movies and video games. That's what they're choosing that to be the hot topic. And what this stems from is just people are ignorant on the entire subject. The people that make these claims that video games cause kids to be violent, one, there's no tests out there that proves this, because it can't be proven, because it doesn't happen. But these people that claim this are people that don't play video games, are people that don't watch movies. These are the people that watch nothing but daytime TV and the news. And the beauty of it is, on daytime TV, have you ever watched Lifetime? That's a man-hater channel. That's all they do is hate on men. There's always a man murdering you, or raping you, or taking your kids. But all that stuff is perfectly fine, because the people that make these accusations against video games and movies, they like that kind of stuff. So they're never going to say boo about it. But since they don't care, or have no interest in video games, or, you know, horror movies or anything like that, you know, it's gotta be that. It's gotta be that fault. Like I said, though, I think money should go towards victims of gun crimes. But it shouldn't come out of the pockets of normal Americans for wanting to play a video game or watch a movie. These are just normal, hardworking Joes. They're people like me. They're people like you. And they want us to pay more taxes on video games and movies. And it comes down to, like, what you consider to be a violent video game. Is Pokemon violent? I mean, they're Pokemon fighting each other. Is that violent? Are they going to start charging... Are we going to pay a sinner's tax for Pokemon because it features evolution? I mean, just think about the... It's just all stupidity. And the reason I'm even talking about this is because the United States Vice President, Joe Biden, he kind of stepped in on, weighed in on the subject. He was neither for nor against the idea of putting this sinner's tax on us, which is mind-blowing. They call it a sinner's tax. But he steps in and says there's nothing legally wrong with that idea. We could totally do that. And it's like, oh God, now the vice president's talking about it. So pretty soon, you're going to be hearing about it a lot. It just came, the articles I read about it today, there's a bunch of them. I've got one in the description for you guys. They're going to be talking about this a lot, a sinner's tax, because we are sinners for playing video games and watching movies, and we need to pay penance in the form of more taxes, because the 0.00001% of us are fucking crazy. Awesome. Just awesome, good stuff. Always good news. It's always good news. But I don't know. I don't usually talk about news in my videos or current events or anything like that unless it somehow affects me or affects my viewers. And this is something that's going to affect you, because if this passes, if this gains any headway, we're going to end up paying more money for movies and video games. You know, that $60 game's all of a sudden a $70 game. And that's going to add up. Let's say you buy 5 games a year. You know, that's an extra $50 a year. Just silliness. Just silliness. We're already paying taxes, which is, you know, I understand that's how we pay. That's how we pay our public servants. That's how we how it keeps the country going, for lack of a better phrase. But still, I don't think that we should be having a sinner's tax for playing a video game. But final score 57-5. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Please don't leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are we subject? Do we deserve to pay a quote-unquote sinner's tax because we are sinners because we play video games and watch movies and not, you know, just go to church and I like religion. I do. I do believe there is a God. I'm not, if I came across that way, I'm sorry. I believe in religion. I do. I just think that certain people within religion are fucking idiots that don't know what they're talking about. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Please leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.